Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am back with my small stuff sampler quilt for Sampler Quilt Sunday. If you are new to this series, please go check out the link down below and get caught up, and then come back and watch this episode. When I left off last time, I had made these 4 little blocks using these little farm animal motifs, and I do believe I also had put the border around them, but I hadn't joined them, and now I did. I just put a little bit of background between, and I did indeed make some lines. Not sure if you can see those, because I just really liked the looks of the lines, so I'm trying to keep that going throughout, and that fits perfectly there. What I'm doing is I'm going to make a column this way, and then a column this way, and then I'll just sew those two together. Now I have just that block to make, and then I have this space to fill, which I don't think I will do one big block. I might do 2 vertical blocks, but I'm going to try to get that one done today, and then this one done the next time, along with the center of the flower, and then we can call this one finished. I have an idea for a wonky tree, but I don't know if I want the wonky tree there, or trees in that little space, or if that's something I'd like to do here. I don't know. I'm going to think about it, and I think today we will be doing a wonky tree. Wonky trees, here we come. I am going to do this in the absolute most scrappy way. The wonky trees can be very quick and easy to make, and I imagine quite fun also, by cutting fabric blocks and stacking them, and then making your cuts, and then swapping the tree part, and then sewing everything back together. And it makes wonky trees, but it makes them all identical. I want to do 3 different trees, and they need to be small, and I thought I'm just going to cut my tree, and then I'm going to build around it with background fabric. So I pulled out some scraps of background, and I do have bigger pieces if I need them, but I'm going to try to piece this stuff together to create my fabric, because I like the lines anyway. And this, I don't suggest you design things like this. All I know is this is the size that I need for the block, not including the white border. This border is just because I want to make sure that I leave enough room to add some background around. I don't want to be cutting off the tips of my trees by forgetting that I need background, you know, on all sides. I learned that by doing my wonky stars. See, we learn as we go. Since my trees are going to be small, I thought I could fit 3 on the page, and I don't know, I wasn't making up my mind, I guess. I think I started with 2, and I guess I'm up to 3 now. So it's going to just be like a wonky triangle and a stem, and I thought that it would be so cool to do it with my strip sets. This is the reason I wanted to do a wonky tree. I love this strip set. So if I cut the triangle this way, it's going to, you know, have lines like that. So this can be my little tree. And then I have this strip set for a taller tree. And then I have this, which I thought I would like because it's got some, you know, some different colors. So I'm going to do 3 trees. I think I'm going to start with the, maybe we can start with the small one. Oh, and then I need stems. Stems? No, trunks. I need tree trunks. And I don't want to go with just the typical brown. Like, you know, I could just do a solid brown trunk. I thought about this, but now I think I'm going to do 3 different trunks. We'll worry about the trunks after the fact. Now I just need to decide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my wonky triangle, and then I'm just going to start building out with the background. And that's not the best way to do this. Trust me, I have easier ways. But I'm going to do that because I want to, like I said, I want to piece this stuff together and see if I can make my block using just these scraps that I have, and then these strip sets that I love so much. I wonder if it would be easier to start with a bigger tree, a taller tree. All right, let me think a minute. I think I will start with a taller tree. So I'm going to have 2 tall ones and then the short one because I don't have this way. I could do it this way. I don't know. I wonder if that would be cute, a tree with the vertical. I might be able to do that, you know, because the other 2 will be horizontal. It's so hard to make the decisions. But I have enough of this. If I fuck it up, I can try again. So let's go with this. And I'm going to make it kind of tall. And I don't want it too wide. So I'm going to start here. And I'm going to just cut at an angle because my goal is to have a triangle. This is going to be too long, but I can fix that after. So I'm just trying to cut a triangle. Boy, that's not the easiest thing to cut with all those seams. Do we have a tree? Oh, shoot. That's going to be ultra skinny because I forgot about the seam allowances. Maybe I should cut another because that would be really skinny. Well, maybe we can go with it. You know, it's a sampler quilt and I'm just practicing. Let's try it. So I'm going to leave that point. Oh my God, it is going to be really, really skinny, isn't it? I know. I could cut the point here. And then when I add the backing, I'll make that, the background, I'll create a point by adding that. I don't want the trunks too long. Okay, I'm going to cut this here on this purple. I think that will work. And when I sew the background, I'm just going to like sew it like, well, so that it'll be, you know, pretend it's folded back over. And then the other piece, you know, like this. So I'll create the point that way. All right. I'm just going to, I'm not taking it to the machine, but I'm just going to start adding some background around this. All I did so far was I took 2 scraps that had lines in them already for me, and I actually stitched from the back so that I could see my top of my tree and I could make sure that my stitch lines connected. And that way I created a point. See how cool? Now before I trim this, I know that I need to add some more. I'm going to need, you know, a corner here. So I'm just going to look for something small that might fit there. And it always takes a little bit bigger than we imagine. That will work. So if I sew that there and flip it over, I should have that corner covered. And I'll do the same on that side. Trying to make it so that you can see what I'm doing, because that would be helpful, right? So I just added some pieces. Now, I know I'm going to want it probably around here somewhere. And I'm not putting any background there because I need the stem too. So I'm just laying it here, and I'm not committed to the width of this one because I can adjust the others, but I don't think I want it too wide. So I'm going to move it over a little bit, and let's trim this as a straight line. So I'm going to need another piece there. And like I said, it takes bigger than we expect. I hate to use something too big. I'm trying so hard to just use these scraps. All right, well, I'm going to do this piece. I will sew that right there and flip that open. I kind of like this tree because it kind of curves. I don't know how I did that, but it's cool. Now, I'm going to just try to trim it. Well, let me trim this off the bottom. Now let me see if I can get a straight edge here. I think that's going to work for my first one. I'm just trying to cut a rectangle. I don't care about how it actually fits down here. Now I have an odd-shaped rectangle, and that's going to be my first little tree. I can trim that better after the fact. Ooh, I like it. I think before I do this trunk, I don't know why I want to call it a stem. Maybe I should make my other two trees. Yes, let's do. I'm excited now. Okay, in the center, we're getting the pink one. I can make it a little wider than I think because of the seam allowances. So I'm going to do, let's see if I start here. Gee, I probably didn't go wide enough. I certainly didn't go wonky enough. I'm going to go in a little bit more. But I know my point does not have to be pointed because I will do that when I add background. Okay. I think that's going to be super cute. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fill in the rest. See that can go there. And I'm sure I have another piece. So let me start putting background around this one. I'm just trying to make this somewhat rectangular. I can fill in the gaps after. Just trying to get my placement. And so I just added on each side and I made a line there on my background fabric because I like that. And all I do is pinch it in the back. I fold it over, pinch it, and sew. And it gives me a line as though I pieced it. I don't actually cut it and sew it back together. So I think that's going to work there. And I don't have to have the bottoms of the trees the same. So if I want to make this guy look a little bit taller, he can just have a longer trunk. I said it right. So I need a piece up here. And that's going to have to be trimmed a little bit straighter like this. And I just need a piece there. I think that'll work. I actually went with another piece of background because I wanted to make sure it was tall enough. And I think it will be now. Looking good. Let me just trim this line. Alright, before I connect to these two guys, I'm going to do, let's do my last one out of this. Let me just cut this like maybe here. I know I could be using my rotary cutter, but I just feel like doing this right now. I need to sharpen my scissors. Well, let me just start this way and then I can trim if I need to. Okay, we know that I don't need the point at the top. Oh, I don't know if I want the confetti on this one when I have it right there. I like it starting with the brown. I'm going to just trim this right here. That can get caught in the seam allowance. I'm going to get my seam ripper and I'm going to pick this, the pink, off the brown. Ooh, I like that now. I have more of the brown on the bottom. It makes it a little taller. I'm going to get all those little threads out. Ah, just what I wanted. I wanted a darker tree. Going to take that top off like that. Let me trim it a little bit narrower. Okay, that'll be good. Let me build around that one now. Before I start messing around with this more, I know this is not a way to teach you how to do things. That's why this is not a tutorial. You just get to watch me struggle. What I'm going to do before I mess with it is I'm going to put the tree trunk on each tree. So let me find the 3 trunks that I want. I like this brown with the little flowers for this one because look, it has a purple with little flowers. So I'll use this for the trunk for this. And I'm thinking I like this brown polka dot for my brown tree. I don't know, do I want something a little bit more different? Let me keep looking. I want this pink tree to have a plaid trunk. So I'm going to cut this guy off here. And now I still need my brown. And I don't want it too brown now. Let me see. I don't know. I might go with this color. I think I like that. Okay, to make the trunks for each tree, I have to remember that there's going to be seam allowances. I want them kind of skinny. They can also be wonky. I'm not going to aim purposely for wonky. I'm sure I'll just make them wonky. And I'd like to make this longer than necessary just because I don't know what I'm doing. I can always trim it. I guess I'll go with this and this. So I'm just going to sew this together. And yes, I called it a friggin' stem again. I don't know why I have that stuck in my head. Sometimes it just happens because I'm concentrating so much on other things that I say things wrong. And it makes for tough editing, I'll tell you that. Remember when I was calling, what was it? The leaves? I think I kept calling them petals. Drove me fucking nuts. Now, I'm just going to trim this here. And this is going to end up going, oh, look how cute that's going to be. Oh my goodness, I love it. I think it's a good width. Could have been a little narrower. I could certainly make it a little narrower. I think I'll just come in a little bit closer and make it a tiny bit narrower. And then I'm going to sew this on to the bottom of the tree. Look, my first wonky tree. I love it so much. And this is going to be a little bit lopsided, but that's okay. How's that getting trimmed? I think like this. And then I'll go with the angle there. And again, I'll be fixing all this. Oh, it's just how I imagined it. Not at all. I don't even think it's going on this side, is it? Does it matter? It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to make my stem trunk. What the hell? I am going to make the trunk. Do I want to swap out the color? I don't know. I'm having fun now. Let's do the little tiny one because I know I want this for this. So let me just cut a piece like that. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add, and I'm going to try to make it narrower maybe than this guy. I did take that one in. And see this, oh my God, the trunk. See how the trunk is slanted a little bit? I knew I could do that accidentally. And that's what I was counting on. And I've got my lines around. Oh my goodness, I just love it so much. Okay, I'm going to put the trunk, yay, on this one. This guy gave me such a hard time. I actually took it apart. First, it was just way too wonky. And then I put it back on and it was more straight, but it was way over here. And again, it was too wonky. I finally have it the way I like it. So that was good. Took a long time, but it was good. This guy didn't take long at all, but his trunk is a little too wide. But that I can live with. I think I'm going to have this guy on this side because I have enough background to do that on that side. So it's going to go like this, but I have to, you know, trim here, fill in. I promise you there is a way to make wonky blocks, wonky tree blocks, I should say, quick and easy. And I didn't do that because I'm doing crazy things. And then I thought the little tree, it could go over here and just have more background down here. I don't know. I might make him be up a little bit, make it like he's far away. So what I'm going to do is I need to build these blocks bigger so there are no gaps, and then I just need to cut some straight lines and sew those 3 trees together. And I'm going to do that off camera. Look, I did it. I bet you didn't think I could. It looked like such a hot mess before it came to this. I love the lines that are going in, slanted and at angles, and I just love it so much. Now all I have to do is add the white border around it. All I can say is wow. I've never made a wonky tree, and I certainly haven't made a wonky tree while trying to fill it all in with little scraps of background. I will show you a video very soon on how to just do a wonky tree. And you don't need a strip set to do it. It's cool if you have that. It's a good way to use your scraps, and then it makes really cute trees. But this is the exact size I need. I believe the entire thing is, 11.25 by 8. 11 1/4 by 8 1/2. And it fits in that spot perfectly, which you will see only the next time on the next video because it's dark now. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, even though I didn't really teach you anything. But I will teach you the wonky tree if you haven't seen it before. There are millions of videos out there if you want to go watch some. But I think I'll do one. Maybe I can put a twist on it somehow. I'll try to do that very soon. I don't have to wait for this series to end. I'd like to do a wonky tree and another wonky star also. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with the next episode of this series next weekend. Bye!